Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Tuck, RuPaul's Drag Race Recap Podcast. You are here joined by the beautiful Forever Raymond, also known as Ray. We also have here with me Mr. Eli.
What's up, guys?
And also the beautiful Miss Edwards.
Hey, hot stuff.
Love it, love it. We are missing one, the house mother. You know, she has to pay the bills. She has to keep the lights on.
Sure.
So, our lovely queen, Miss Wellington, is not here physically, but always in spirit. So we send her just love, and we miss you. We wish you were here. But cut it out tomorrow.
Well, she's watching. She might not be here, but Big Brother's always watching.
Big Brother's always watching.
Big Mother.
Yes,
Big Mother. Big Mother is always watching.
Big Mother.
Okay.
But yes. Let's just get into this straight to the point because I just don't even know how to make it sound better than what it was. This episode, so last episode it was Snatch Game. They bombed, the girls bombed, and RuPaul was not having it whatsoever. So he was like, "Y'all want to play? Y'all want to be cute? Okay, bet." Everybody lip syncing to the death. What are your thoughts? Do you guys feel like that was a valid reaction to the Snatch Game?
I felt like they did poorly, but I don't know. I felt like some people did a good enough job to be safe. For them to kind of pull this, I was a little bit surprised. And I feel like this is almost the first time he's done something like this, right? Where Ru has he's
done once before. He's like all the queens were in the bottom. He was like, "Oh yeah, lip sync, and I'll see who did the worst."
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's the first time I physically have seen it, and I thought it was interesting. There was an interesting concept. I liked it.
I think there were queens who definitely could have been safe. But again, I feel like being season 14, you can't bring a performance that's just safe worthy.
Yeah.
So
I think also they played on
the
oh, sorry.
No, it was it was maybe like a moment to light that fire under their ass.
Right.
The episode of Cornbread.
I think they were Ru himself wasn't laughing. He was like, "Okay, y'all not about to not make me laugh on Snatch Game." And then I also think he was annoyed because the biggest thing with Snatch Game is what is it called? Improv. So it's yes and very much that. But the girls kept killing his opportunity to banter or keep it kicking, keep it lively. They'd just be like, "I wasn't prepared for that." Okay. Well, I feel like it was valid, but I'm just over it. I'm like, well, I'm on very much Daya Betty's side when she goes off and she's pretty much like, I'm annoyed because why are we all in the bottom instead of people being safe? You had a winner, just put people safe, and then whoever's in the bottom, make them lip sync and let these bitches go home. Enough with this.
I don't know. I'm just kind of getting over Diabetes. I feel like I do agree to some extent. I would be mad as hell too if everybody was going up against each other, or even in the past when he's got mad where people were saved. So I get it, but I feel like at this point it's kind of it's just too bitter for me. I feel girl, let it go a little bit. I don't know.
It is a little bitter, but from the eyes of a competitor, and I was thinking about this when I was watching it. Drag Race has kind of become a sport where athletes look at another athlete and are like, what the F? How the hell are they getting this opportunity when I'm putting in my work? And it's not so much of being bitter or hating, but it's that grind to damn, I'm trying to hustle and do what you're doing. So I see that passion in it, but I feel like her delivery just comes off so nasty. And that's why it's easy to then have that perspective of well, fuck how you feel, bring it to the runway.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. I agree. That's why I feel like we're trying to win and compete, but no one's going home. And now I'm getting mad. So I understand that. But yeah, nonetheless, RuPaul made it happen. The way that it was structured was that the girls had their balls with initials on it, and it was a random selecting, which I think is always fun when they do it live like that, so we can see they didn't rig it, even they probably still could rig it anyways.
Roll it again.
Going into this, who would you say was a queen that you were nervous for, and then one queen who you knew was going to be good?
Angeria. I was
nervous. You were nervous for her?
I was nervous for her just because I didn't remember much of her, her first lip sync when they
yeah
episode, and then she kind of said like she's, you know, sit and bark and like, you know, looks pretty. So I didn't know how that was gonna be
The
for her.
sit and bark
What
bit, I
song
guess.
she was gonna come into. But the person I knew who was gonna come and slay the house down was gonna be Georges, like without a
Right.
doubt. Where she gagged me with her choice of song. But like,
Right. We'll get into
Right,
that. We'll get into
right,
that. We'll get into that.
right.
How about you, Eli?
You know what? I was really nervous for Bosco. I feel like as the season is coming along, Bosco's kind of growing on me. So I kind of
mhm,
want her to stay. Like, I don't want to see her go home quite yet. Although I don't feel like we've seen Bosco at her full potential either. I didn't want
Yeah.
her to go home. So I
agreed.
was nervous for Bosco because I also, prior to this episode, didn't feel like lip syncing was a strength of hers. But I
Yeah.
feel like, and we'll get into it later, that actually, actually she changed my mind a little bit. And I also expect and for the person I expected to do good, I think was Jasmine Kennedy. I did expect Georges, but I don't want to say Georges just because I feel like that's almost, like you said it already, Edward, and I feel like we all thought Georges was going to do good, but I also felt like Jasmine was going to do good, and for the things to play out the way they played out, I was definitely not expecting that. So yeah,
Yeah. For me, I was definitely nervous for I was a little nervous for Willow because
mm,
we haven't really seen her lip sync like that, other than like when she did her little 90s or 60s number. But I was still like, oh, it's a little bit different though. Because you don't really necessarily prepare for it. Like it was all on you. It has to be in the moment. So I was nervous for her. And I was honestly not even worried for Georges. I knew that she was gonna literally twirl, which she did. So yeah, so they do the ball thing. The first ones to go up were Daya Betty versus Jasmine Kennedy. So I love that the queen who goes whoever's balls they pick, they can choose who
yeah,
they want to go against, but then whoever
uh-huh,
they choose to go against gets the best song. I
right.
Yeah,
thought that was
it's good.
nice.
That was a good
I
twist,
thought it was good. I thought it was a good twist to just be like even Stevens with
right?
everything and allow people like, yeah, you think you have the upper hand because you're gonna pick me to go against each other, but
You
I
have to
could
be
choose a song. Ha ha
strategic
ha.
the way that Willow did.
What was that?
I was like, you had to be very strategic the way you picked.
Right. Willow, she is just freaking ridiculous. But okay, so the first round, it's Jasmine Kennedy and Daya. Of course, the audience is eating it up. We're waiting for this moment to see who is the superior one because, they have this thing. So I think
Like it's rivalry all
I like
season.
that Jasmine Kennedy did that because she knows, like, they want to see it. So let's give it to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like if I was on exactly she knows the viewers want to see them go head and head. So
Right.
thank God she chose to go against Daya because she could have chose somebody else who would be like, oh,
It was
but like
also a
she
moment.
actually huh?
She was like, it was also a moment for her to like pop out, like, bitch, like you've been trying to bitch me all this time. Like I'm about to
Right.
stop.
Right.
Right. Yo,
Yeah,
it was
but
really good.
let's talk about like the lip sync. Like, how do you think they did?
I don't know what was
What
going
song did they
on.
get again?
They did okay. First of all, I wasn't really crazy about really any of the song
Any of
choices.
the songs. Yeah, I don't know what the hell was
Radio was
everybody.
a good one.
Okay, so I'll say this much. I really enjoy the show because I feel like a lot of times when they do lip syncs, they might do songs that maybe I've never heard, number one. Two, I'm not a huge fan of, but sometimes the lip sync is so good that it
Right.
makes me want to go and download that song,
Right. I hate when
And
it's these old slow songs. What is
I
this
feel like these are
about?
rules, like, Rue, we don't want to see this shit. Like,
Right.
2022
Then they
gay
gotta
do
give
not want to
variety
see
few
Aretha Franklin
words.
and Vogue. We want to
Right.
see
But I feel
like
like
some
RSP, like Respect could have been really good. But I will say I don't like when queens purposely um go in front of another queen. So Daya
me
Betty was
neither.
very much purposely trying to be in front of Jasmine Kennedy the whole time,
Right.
just to like overshine her. And I guess it worked in her favor because she won the lip sync. Spoiler alert. But I just didn't like it. It made me uncomfortable. I hate when queens do that. Why do you need to try to block someone because
I agree.
what? I just didn't like
I
that
didn't
part, at least for
I didn't like
me.
that either. It gives me like a bad taste in my mouth. Like not a bullying vibe, but it's like, okay, you could still do your thing
Yeah.
without trying to like block somebody else, like literally
Yeah.
block them.
It was so
But
weird.
I do like when they play off of each other, and I'm not necessarily talking about Daya and Jasmine, but like when they're sensual and they like touching each other because like yeah, it is a competition. Yeah, they want to win, but I feel like in that moment they still are able to like have fun and say, listen, like
We're really
we're gonna
here.
make the best out of this,
Right, like give the performance. I don't know. But yeah, I
Right.
wasn't crazy about it. I was disappointed actually, but I did think even though she was being weird, that Daya won that in my
Really? You
opinion.
thought that?
I thought that she did. Yeah, I thought that Daya ultimately it is a competition, and she was annoying, but she owned the stage, and I thought she did pretty good. So I liked it.
I
Yeah.
was surprised that Jasmine didn't win it, just because that's the way I perceived it to be. But then I was like, oh, this is production, like keeping Jasmine so she could like smoke these bitches out.
Yeah, because they know like if to keep diet with I don't know, whatever. Next lip sync.
I want to
because-
say something really quick before we move on.
Yeah.
I think that as a viewer, and something that I personally want to see, like when they do the lip syncs, I want to see the flips. I want to see the
Right.
death bow. But like I think I have to understand, and probably other viewers too, like it's not all about that. The Ru isn't always looking for that. They want to see like, you know, like your stage presence, your emotion, like do you know the lyrics? Like it's not only backflips and cartwheels. So, and I feel like that if you like as we go along, you'll see all of Jasmine's lip syncs. She's twisting, she's flipping, she's, you know, like,
yeah.
and
I think she was trying to give them variety, but queens choose the wrong moments for things, and I don't think she.
Agreed.
and I don't think those were her songs. I don't think those were Jasmine's songs to shine.
Bitch, the bitch only had 4 songs.
Yeah.
But,
Had the opportunities to figure out what she wanted to, you know,
So
get crazy.
So Daya wins against Jasmine, and Daya is safe. Jasmine remains in the bottom, and she still has to lip sync for her life, right? So next we see who Willow versus Bosco.
Yes, Willow versus Bosco. First of all, that wig on Miss Willow was real. I don't give a damn. It was attached to her scalp. Like it was so good. I loved it. I loved it.
Style too. Like it wasn't like a, you know, like a wig we've seen that often. I feel, you know, like it was truly a Willow wig. I felt I liked it.
I agree. I think that she looked good as fuck, and I was excited to see like what was she gonna bring. Then Bosco's look. I don't know. Bosco needs to switch it up for me. I'm tired of this corset bralette thing. I'm just not a fan of it anymore.
I don't think Bosco's like a fashion queen. I mean, and I'm not gonna give her that like scapegoat and say, well, you know, excuse her fashion because they have to bring everything on this show. But I don't know what Bosco's strength or what she's a queen of. I don't know. I've grown to like her. But I agree. I'm getting a little tired of it. So the two of the girls faced off against each other, and they did Never Too Much by Luther Vandross.
Yes.
You know, and Edward mentioned before that Willow chose Bosco, knowing that Bosco would choose that song because Willow wanted the same song. So Willow like, really, you know, kind of like checkmate. You know, Willow played a good hand there.
No, Willow. I think Willow's gonna win this, guys.
You think so?
Hey, I'm with you on that theory.
Willow is insanely strategic, and she did not come to play. And every single episode, she proves more and more and more that she could really win this. And even in this lip sync, I wasn't too sure, but I liked her delivery. Like I think she did very well to deliver the song. I wish they would release the unedited versions of these lip syncs because I want to see like Willow versus someone. I don't know because I'm like I feel like in the edit of it all, yes, she won, but I feel like if I was to watch that live, I would be like,
probably, yeah, right, exactly.
I don't know if that
There's tough choices too because it's like as a fan, you also create your own low key bias, you know, perspective.
Yeah,
and like I like Bosco and I like Willow, and like Eli said, Bosco has kind of like warmed into my heart.
Same.
Has been in my heart since like episode 1, you know, 1 minute, 1 second.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
I would say I always love Bosco though.
It was a tough one. It was a tough one.
But Wu loves himself some Willow. So Wu wanted to give Willow the win. And poor Miss Bosco had to join Jasmine Kennedie and fight another day and do another lip sync.
Also, I'm annoyed because I thought it was gonna be these two go against each other. Whoever loses, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
Right. That would have been that would have been a lot at once. Like what?
They would but then I think all the bottom queens, like you know how I had the 3-way thingy. I would have put all of the girls that lost each lip sync as like one final one. And like y'all doing the whole song, you're doing the whole number. Y'all motherfuckers be on the ceiling by the end of this.
Yeah, you're right. And they would have had to like fight for their life, basically.
Right. Yeah. It didn't give a fight for the life. It was just like, oh, okay, whatever. I got another chance.
Also some variety. Like
I feel like the song choices, yeah, they try to give us the basic, expectation of variety, but I wanted something really like twirling, like
Right.
like
There's a lip sync this season though that like there's a song that they're gonna use, and I think it's next week. And if they better give this fucking song. I'm not gonna spoil it for you guys because I'm crazy. Like my algorithms, people just space. I don't look for it, but it just spill it. But yeah, I think the next week's song is a good song. I won't spill any tea, but I'm hoping that it's good.
I really do you guys think the song is? Because now I'm here just guessing. That could be anything.
Yeah,
it's a good gay song. It's like a cultural gay song, like very good.
Well, we'll have to find out.
We will have to wait and see.
But yes, and then next was the 3-way one, which was
interesting.
A choice, yes.
Yeah, it was a little chaotic, honestly.
Yeah, it was a little bit exactly. I thought it was a little chaotic. I thought that for the three of them to share a stage, I felt was a little much.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little interesting at the same time, but I don't know. I wasn't really crazy about it.
I feel like it was kind of what's it called on bingo? A free space. Yeah. Where I'm like, come on, y'all could have milked it a little bit. Like made these two go, and then this third person goes against I don't know.
Right. That's something else. Not just throw the three of them on stage together,
It's because they probably wasted the budget on all the songs because they had also like these well-known.
Oh, but they had budget songs, but like that's not the song we want to hear by Beyonce. Okay.
What would you like? What would you have wanted to hear?
I don't know. I like Beyonce songs that are like I like all Beyonce songs, but like I also like the ones that are like not so popular, like maybe like Video Phone. You know that song?
Not so popular. Bitch.
I know, but I don't feel like that. Like when people think of Beyonce,
you know that song? Yeah. As I have the Beyonce.
No, because I feel like when you think of Beyonce, you think of like Halo, you think of like Single Ladies. You're not thinking of like Video Phone. So like something popular, but not so much mainstream. And also a song like you said, like that they could twirl to. Like I don't know. Radio was, although I did download it after I heard the song, though. I was like, okay, this is a little bop. So I did kind of like it, but I didn't expect George's. I feel like everybody expected George's to pick the J-Lo song.
Yeah.
Like, also, I don't know. I love George's, and I've said this since day one of the podcast, but I'm kind of getting tired of seeing the same moves from George's. Like, is it just me, or do you think she's doing the same thing?
It's her signature move. Like
the da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, okay, like you can't do that to every single song. Like, you can't like.
I think I give her, her round of applause and her kudos for choosing something we didn't expect.
Right.
Even in that 3-way battle, I feel like she still was shining. Like it was expected for her to shine, but she still bring it because Angeria was doing her thing. Maybe not swirling as much, but I saw heart. But I would be scared for Angeria if she has to go up. Like if she ever has to battle and lip sync for her life, she better hope it's like Willow. Well, I don't know who, because or maybe she's just saving it for the moment that we're gonna need it, or maybe she has the gold bar. Like the question, the list goes on and on.
I'm worried about Angeria because I felt like she started off the season extremely strong, and like I really thought like she was. When I first watched the season, I was like, okay, she's definitely top 3, but I don't know if I feel the same anymore. Like I still feel like the potential's like, listen, she has the potential. It's in her. We've seen it, but I don't feel like she's bringing the same energy she brought in the beginning of the competition, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's just me, or or if you feel the same way.
I think she is starting to fall a little bit in it's like categories of like kind of like a race, like who's in what's literally is a damn race, but who gets I guess screen time. So like this week, I can see now George's Daya at the end, as to where last week I'm like, damn, like Lady Camden got this in the bag.
Right.
Not last week on Smack Game, but previously, or like Willow. Like Willow is someone who's like secured in the final 4, as to where I do hope that for Bosco, but Bosco's still in that questioning area with Angeria, with Deja, where it's like, can you really take this to superstars? Like,
not with Deja, Edward. Do not give Deja that credit.
Not even the benefit.
No, I don't like Deja.
We gotta give props. Come on, that performance of Smack Game compared to everyone else's was like.
I know, but
Edward, I just feel like maybe it was average, Because if she was in the room next to someone else that was doing a character and they had it to the T and had every punchline, back and forth, like maybe she would have not won it. But for what was given and the people and the other queens given it, she had the best. So I therefore can consider her as like, damn, like you might not be this
She
cookie
had a good
cutter
week.
idea of what we think a queen is, but she showed a part of variety that I personally enjoyed. Yeah.
I was telling Kevin earlier, I'm like, I cannot see people going to see Deja like at a club.
Okay.
Like, would you
Okay.
pay? Like, I feel bad saying this, but like,
But
would you buy a ticket to go see Deja at the club? Like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go see Deja. Like, what are you expecting to see from her?
I probably if
Uh-huh.
okay, I wouldn't like clear up my schedule, but if I'm like in the city and I'm giving with the girls and it's like, oh shit, like she pulling up, like
Right.
all right, I'm here. But I think Deja is also kind of like for the teen boppers, like the I don't know how to explain it. There's a category, there's something out there for everyone. So I know that she'll definitely have her fan base and like people who are rooting for her. But as for me going to the club and paying maybe a $30-$40 entrance fee,
Right. No.
I don't even do that now.
Right. Exactly. You're not going to do that for like, I don't know, somebody that's like a winner, let alone Deja. Like, anyway,
You're shady.
let us refocus, Chair. So Georgia winds up knocking my girl Lady Camden and my other girl Angeria out the box, and they're still remaining to fight for their life. I also like the fact that Rue like didn't let the winners see who was gonna win.
Mhm.
I like that. That was pretty interesting, and
Well,
they
they
kind of
had
had
to
to
make
like.
something suspenseful for us
I
because
know.
like it was very plateau, very steady episode.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, and I feel like they have to like shake it up a little bit to recapture. Like we've said this before, but I feel like before I was like Friday, like I'm excited to see the show. Like now it could be like Saturday night, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'll throw it on. Like they need to recapture the viewer's attention. I feel.
Yeah, I think from a different lens, I think that it was a filler episode because of the fact that Cornbread went home. And you would think that they would have already had that planned, but maybe the way it happened, it was just like they just ended up saving 2 queens or 2 weeks where we had no queens go home. So then they're like, all right, this one was supposed to be someone going home. I also had the theory that they obviously know who has the gold chocolate bar. So they're trying to milk it like another week and like, all right, we got rid of someone who doesn't have the chocolate bar. Now, what are the possibilities and the probability of it being
Yeah, but like
lip sync?
like who's to say like that the person who got eliminated this week? Are you trying to say they're trying to bait the chocolate bar out?
Yeah, like I feel like we're about to get the chocolate bar this week. That's
I
coming.
really hope not. And the only reason I say that is because I feel like, for example, episode 10, nobody went home, and then it like carried over into another episode. So if we now have another episode upcoming, like where nobody goes home, like I feel like they really overdid it this season with saving people. And I also feel like the season's almost like not so much full of drama. Like, does that make you know what I mean? Like, there's like no, and I don't know if the last couple of seasons have been like that, but I feel like there's not like that one wild card. And I wouldn't even give that crown to like Diabetes because I feel like she's not even like being like rah rah. I just feel like she's being like I don't know,
Aggie.
like Aggie, like
Yeah,
I don't know.
I feel like Willow's great too. I just feel like none of them has given us a sound bite. Like we haven't got like that moment where like, oh, these bitches are good.
Right. Exactly.
Like, they're good. I'm not gonna say all that, but like I still have something that's like, holy shit, this season, that's where this came from. We just haven't had that moment yet.
Right. Well, you know what? We still have time to go, so we'll see. We'll give them a chance to like win us over again. So we move on to round 2, and the remaining girls have to like lip sync against each other. So we see first Lady Camden versus Bosco, and they sing "Don't Let Go" by En Vogue. Now, let me tell you, when I watched this, I was like, wait a second, like this deserves like a not an Oscar, whatever, like a
Tony?
daytime Emmy or like a Tony something, because the cinematography was like that scene where like they cut and like they focus
VMA.
on Bosco and then they like faded like Lady Camden and then vice versa. I was like, on the brink of tears.
And the lighting was perfect for it. Like, I really did enjoy
so
that moment.
good.
It really it was a moment that pulled you out kind of your seat and like make you edge a little closer. Like, holy shit! Like,
Yeah,
this
I was
is
like,
crazy.
wow, like it was really good, and I
Yeah,
really
it
tip
was
my
a
hat to them. I was really impressed by the both of them for that performance. You know, unfortunately, Lady Camden, not unfortunately, because rightfully so, she really, you know, like you said before, had a lot of stage presence. She really captured the moment, so she deserved it. But I just hated to see Bosco, you know, have to lip sync once again. I was nervous for Bosco in this moment,
yeah.
you know, but Lady Camden took the crown.
I'm happy that Lady got the opportunity to shine also with a calmer song.
Right.
I'm still questioning on how she would perform with like a pop song, but I don't have no doubt that she'll bring it either. Um, but Bosco, yeah, it really made me sad at that point because I'm like, damn, like I can't kind of create the thought of like like her having to compete with Jasmine
Right.
and then have to like be just so close to going home. It was very
Yeah.
scary. So
Yeah.
I'm
It was.
happy. I'm
Mhm.
happy the way that happened still because had it been Lady in Bosco's position later on, I then would have been worried,
Yeah.
and I think everything would change and be a complete different result.
Yeah, I agree, and I thought it was funny because like even Jasmine said at one point, like you could see, like I'm sure Bosco was pissed, and the fact that Jasmine was like, you could see it in Bosco's face, like she's pissed, and they're tired. You know what I mean? Like they literally, like there's no break, and if there's a break, I mean, from what we see, we don't know editing and all that stuff, but I'm sure they're tired because they're like going back to back, and I guess
Because
that's
they
part
just
of
have
the
to do
plan.
their makeup,
Right,
stand, get told what
right.
to do,
Mind you, they're like dancing
and
in like heels.
heels.
You know what I mean? Like, and they're not just like doing some two step, like they're doing backflips and cartwheels and all like jumping jacks, all kind of crazy things. So
Also, speaking of jumping jacks and all these different things, one thing I guess that left me super like wanting more was the fact that there was not a single reveal. Like, I think they could have this was a perfect like me being someone possibly like well, Deja was lip syncing or maybe Angeria. I would have had a moment where I at least pull this skirt off and it's a corset under.
right, right,
Just something like okay, like let me bring my eyes over here to this queen because if we look at it all like if we take away all the antics and we play back at all those lip syncs, the one that stands out is the one Bosco and Lady Camden performed in the sense of like a memorable moment. Because radio with George's and the other two queens, Angeria and was it?
Angeria and Lady Camden was there with them.
Word?
It was the three of them, but it was so like hectic. You couldn't even really appreciate anybody's lip sync because
Yeah.
they were panning from
Okay.
like Camden, Georges, Angeria, like da, 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 da. And so like
Yeah.
we didn't get one full scene. We got like chopped up scenes here and there. So I get what you're saying.
Well, yeah, that was definitely a memorable and like remarkable point of the lip sync. But besides that, if you remove all the other editing and all the other like antics from it, I think they were like plain and simple and plain Jane.
Yeah.
But still, you know,
You're right. I'm surprised. Like now that you mention it, I didn't think about it before, but nobody had a reveal, like, you know, an outfit. And some of them I felt like, for instance, like Lady Camden, like you felt like that hairstyle was a good idea for like to be lip syncing your ass off. I mean, it looked cute, you know. She had like that big pink mohawk,
yeah.
but like I don't know, like to be doing all kind of dancing and shit. Like I don't know.
Well,
I just
yeah. I don't think any of the well, I guess you have to be comfortable. You also don't want to like go out there and you're in wear. But I just wasn't fascinated by
I know.
styling choices either. It was a very bland episode.
I
But
know.
we
But
love it. We enjoyed it. We
I,
still
it had the
stay
potential.
tuned for the battle.
It had the
Well,
potential to really be like an eye opener, like what? But I feel like it kind of missed the mark. But you know, so after we had that great scene between Bosco and Lady Camden, we were then shown Angeria versus Jasmine, and they sang "Love Don't Cost a Thing" by J Lo, and they were twirling.
they were indeed twirling, but I do think Jasmine was missing the color of the song in the
Right.
sense of How do I put this?
I don't think they've. I'm thinking they might have never seen the video. Have you seen the video, Edward?
I feel like if I've seen it, like I'll be like, oh yeah, I definitely watched this video, but off the top of my head, no. I just think she missed the style of performance that the song
Right.
called for. She was giving me like maybe Ariana Grande My Everything tour
Yeah.
when the song was kind of asking for Dangerous Woman, a little more like I'm opening my eyes. It's a coming to age song, I would say. Like, I don't know. Like, I do know. I said what I said. Fuck.
I know the video, and so I expected the girls to like. To me, the video is like very sensual. Like on the video, she's on the beach and rolling around in the sand, and she looks good, you know. And I feel like you said like she wasn't. They weren't giving that. I felt like I actually thought Angeria was gonna win the lip sync, and she did. Actually, she did because I felt like she embodied what the video, you know, what it was. She wasn't like on 100. She wasn't hyper, and I feel like that's what Jasmine was giving.
It was a
Spins
good song. You got lucky with that one.
splits and and death drops, and it's like not every song requires that. And so for that reason, Jasmine once again was forced to lip sync for her life. So we got down to the bottom two, Bosco and Jasmine Kennedy. I was kind of sad. My heart was beating because I'm like, damn, like even though Jasmine's low-key annoying, I wasn't ready for her to like leave. And Bosco, I'm a big fan of Bosco, but I also am at a point where I'm like, Bosco, you gotta like really bring it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I
like
think she's in her high so far what we've seen, and it's very, and I get it. I'm someone who wears my emotions on my face, so she just shows it all. If she's irked, she's irked. If she's wants to like pop off, I wouldn't say so much she's gonna pop off because we didn't see her stick up with Diabetti and the comments that she had, even though she agreed with her. But she definitely, you're gonna see it in her face and her vibe. And I feel like I would be annoyed because if we're gonna be around one another, especially for all these hours, I want to know how you're gonna feel. Whether I like it or I don't, it's like, okay, like what's up?
Yeah.
Like instead of this like tiptoeing energy. So I think the point of this episode was let's see how far we can push Bosco to like crack and like really just let her walls down.
Yeah.
But again, I wasn't ready for Jasmine either to leave so early. Especially actually, I wasn't ready for her to leave, but after she made the choice of, I guess, changing her style of performance, when this final song that they performed with one another, which one was it?
It was Swept Away by Diana Ross.
I feel like she could have embodied it in a different way. So at that point, I'm like, damn, like sis, like you've already gotten a few opportunities, a few chances to read the room the song calls for at a lip sync battle, and she didn't do it, and we ended up with the result of Bosco staying.
Yeah, I mean, she said like I'm gonna try to switch my like what she normally does, and she was gonna go a little more campy, and so like she was basically like copying whatever the lyrics are doing. Like when they were saying "swept away," like she was pretending to like sweep something, But I don't know. I didn't. It clearly wasn't enough to keep her.
Yeah,
But,
and I agree with that.
And you know what bothers me really about Jasmine going home? I think it's not even so much that she went home. I feel like she went home before a lot of other queens that I feel like deserved or maybe shouldn't be there. That's my opinion.
Wait,
I feel like she's stronger than some of the queens that are still there. Love Georgia to death, but like I don't see Georgia's winning, and so I feel like I'm like not that I'm ready for Georgia's to go home, but I almost feel like she's almost just taking somebody's spot at this point, Georgia's, because I feel like her only strength is really like the lip syncs, and she's sexy, and she looks great when she's in drag, and we all appreciate that. But
creativity. She did say this episode that she's starting to feel that emotion and that drive again. So I'm curious to see how that's going to change and the way we perceive her in the next episode. But I do think Jasmine is one of those queens that had a lot more to show.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about people in the queens in the past, such as like Tina Burner. Like I know Tina Burner had her moments that looked kind of make hot mess makeup, but one of those people that is a performer and really brings it to the yard.
Yeah.
And I see that in Jasmine. So it's like sometimes it's easy to have this conception of like, damn, this queen is XYZ based off this episode, but like in the outside world in her career, I think Jasmine's gonna bring it, and like, who knows? Maybe it was with the reason of keeping her and bringing her to All Stars.
Yeah, I was saying, having a conversation earlier, and I said, like, just because they don't win, that doesn't necessarily mean like that they're asked out. Like a lot of times they're on TV, let's say 2, 3, 4 episodes, and they gain like fans just from that,
Yeah.
and then they can go back home or travel and do shows or like connect with other queens and like branch out. So I feel like just being on the show is like a huge opportunity. So although the road ended here for Jasmine, I feel like there's a lot of doors that are going to be open. I mean, just like in the last probably 2 months, I've seen several flyers of Jasmine doing shows with other queens that are popular. It's not like she went back to her hometown and she's just doing like your local club. Like she's collaborating and like, mingling with other queens out there that are very popular, that are very good at what they do. So,
I would go to the Jasmine Kennedie show.
So would I.
Like, I have no problem paying the bread to go see it.
Yeah, I would definitely think we would be entertained. I definitely feel like she would be engaging with the crowd, and like it would just be a fun time.
I think the bitch could talk. She gonna grab that mic. She gonna yap away. So that's definitely something we gotta do and keep in the future. And that also shows, that it's not the end once you leave. So kudos to Jasmine, and we're definitely gonna see more of her. I guarantee you that. I mean, she's from New York, so we have an obligation to go support her. Imagine when they start doing like Drag Race New York, Drag Race LA. You think they would ever get crazy? That would be interesting. Or like that would be interesting. Drag like Love and Drag Race. You better not Love and Drag Race, Jan. Love and Drag Race. You better Drag Race. You better trademark that. Hello, I own 51% of this company. Right. So yes, the episode ended with us unfortunately seeing Jasmine Kennedie go. And I know she wasn't happy. I mean, you could see clearly she was emotional with that decision, but Ru made her final decision and felt like it was, Jasmine's time to go. And back to JFK, Jasmine F. Kennedie. R.I.P. Jasmine. So next week, we see a preview next week that they're doing a musical, right? Yes, with freaking Leslie Jordan. Jordan Leslie. Who, Chad? He's directing it. Jordan Leslie. Yes. Sorry. No, Leslie Jordan, Che. Leslie Jordan. Oh, that man with the little voice. They were really gagged to see him. I think it's gonna be really good. And I'm excited because the critiques were like really good. Like you can see the on the upcoming like episode next week, like the judges, Michelle Visage says like either Michelle Visage or Andrea Day, because I think Andrea Day is the like guest judge, and they're giving some like good feedback. So I'm really looking forward to see this Friday's episode. Well, we need it. We've been missing a juicy episode. We need something, Chair. So with that being said, I think we can wrap it up here. We got to see another episode of our girls fighting for life and running for that crown, clawing their way to the top of the crown. They're giving their all. Well, we gotta see. We want more because they are leaving us a little, thirsty and dehydrated. But I really do that. I think it's gonna change. I think we're gonna see some juicy content next week. So I look forward to it. Yeah, I think as we get closer to the finale and closer to the end, that things are going to start to heat up and the competition is really going to get a little cutthroat, which I think we're like really, really, really waiting to see. I want to see the girls like really step it up and rev up their engines. So we will keep an eye out for that. Thank you everyone for joining us and tuning in with us. If you guys have any recommendations, any suggestions, anything you want to say, please feel free to comment below. Make sure you follow us and like and subscribe. Thank you guys. Have a great night. Edward, bye. Toodles.